Good evening. This is Eswatini TV News Bulletin at 8, read to you by myself, Natile Sitole, alongside Zamanzi Manzi. First up, let's have a look at tonight's headlines. The Minister for Economic Planning and Development has signed a financing agreement of approximately 108 million emalangeni. The MTN Bushfire Festival of Arts 2021 has been officially launched. The Minister of Health has officially launched the hypertension and diabetes campaign. And now the news in detail. The Minister of Economic Planning and Development, Dr. Tambo Gina, has signed a financing agreement of 6 million euros, which is approximately 108 million emalangeni, on the implementation of the Economic Partnership Agreement in the Kingdom of Eswatini. The agreement was signed by the Minister, Dr. Gina, Minister of Commerce and the EU Ambassador.
Eswatini, alongside 6 SADC member states, signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with EU in 2016. EU Ambassador Esmeralda Aragones says signatures of this financing agreement formalizes EU project support for the implementation of the SADC EU EPA in Eswatini, representing yet another milestone in EU's long-standing association with Eswatini.
It's important to reinforce transformation of the private sector into a vibrant lever to create decent jobs for men and women, entrepreneurship, trade and inclusive growth in Eswatini.
The Minister of Economic Planning, Dr. Tambo Gina, says the partnership aims at addressing capacity development and facilitating a private sector-led export drive that relies on scaling up the country's agricultural production.
The 6 million euros contributed under the program will support the strengthening of public-private dialogue on ease of doing business and on micro, small and medium enterprises, competitiveness, increasing value addition, productivity and competitiveness through environmentally and socially responsible business networks.
The Minister of Commerce, Mangoba Kumalo, says this agreement will play a role in sustainable economic growth, create jobs and improve living standards in Eswatini.
I would like to assure the EU and the Ministry and the Minister at Economic Planning, the private sector as well as the public sector, that these resources will be put into effective use as stipulated in the implementation document and will by no means be returned to the funders.
Minister Gina has given his assurance that the funds will be utilized on time and to what they are allocated for. Reporting, I'm Lungilele Makakula with Mbongwa Tube in Babani.
The MTN Bushfire 2021 digital series has been officially launched, which will be divided into 4 sessions and hosted in different months. The launch was also attended by the Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, and the Minister of Culture and Youth Affairs, Harris Bulunga.
The MTN Bushfire 2021 digital series will be held virtually. The first event will be the MTN Bushfire Pulse Firefly, which will be held on June 25th. The second event is the Collab and will take place on July 30th. While on August 27 marks the main event, the MTN Bushfire 2021 Digital Festival, which will feature over 20 artists from over 10 countries around the globe. The date for the last event, which is the Art Roundtable Workshop, is yet to be confirmed. The Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, says he was delighted with the launch of the festival as it's put Eswatini on the world map.
Bushfire lihlanganisa emaveni amanyenti and endele ukuthi abantu badinga Eswatini bede la phinze kukhuphuke umnotho nanyalo bekulendlela leseyinsha lentiwa sine nje singulumende wembuke siyakujabulela ukuthi kusho ukuthi lokulokwaqala ngobushfire xa besoloqhubeka.
The Minister of Culture and Youth Affairs, Harris Bulunga, applauds MTN Bushfire for the digital festival, saying this is in line with government's wishes as it wants creatives to come up with innovative ideas so COVID-19 outbreak doesn't affect them.
The art sector is seriously affected by the COVID pandemic. Our stakeholders should think out of the box and find ways means by which they can still be able to do their work, reach out to their normal audiences. And it's a digital era, so we can say that most of the work that will be going on in terms of the festival is digital.
MTN Bushfire Festival Director Jig Stone and MTN Eswatini Marketing Officer Ncetsi Ngomane applauds the role played by the deceased Prime Minister Ambrose Mandvulo Dlamini in making MTN Bushfire what it is today.
It was integral to bringing our relationship closer through the title sponsorship. His constant support and encouragement during previous challenging times is a reminder that we can together turn adversity into opportunity.
The MTN Bushfire Festival will be aired on Eswatini TV as well as MTN Bushfire social media pages. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, Mountain Inn.
On Thursday, the Minister of Health, Liz Nkosi, officially launched the Hypertension and Diabetes campaign. Speaking during the event, the minister says by 2030, it is predicted that non-communicable diseases will kill more Eswatini than HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, as well as maternal complications combined.
The launch of the Hypertension and Diabetes campaign was done under the theme Yibambe, Take Charge. The Minister of Health, Liz Nkosi, speaking during the event, says this is an important campaign and it has an ambitious goal of reducing the burden of non-communicable diseases in Eswatini by bringing awareness, early screening and adherence to treatment.
Between 2015 and 2020, the number of outpatient consultations for diabetes and hypertension doubled. If the current trends continue, we are in serious trouble. In 2014, a STEP survey was conducted. It revealed that more than 90% of adult population had one or more risk factors. The survey further revealed that Eswatini, 14% of the population are living with diabetes and 33.5% are living with hypertension. The prevalence is projected to be doubled by the year 2030 if more aggressive measures are not taken right away. Even more worrisome is the fact that more than 50% of people living with diabetes and hypertension do not know their status, leading to late diagnosis and complications such as amputation and kidney disease.
World Health Organization Promotion Officer Dr. Kevin Makatsange says all Eswatini have a role to play in combating hypertension and diabetes.
We can all take action to prevent diabetes and hypertension by maintaining a healthy lifestyle, including avoiding sugary drinks, processed foods, tobacco and alcohol, and doing around 3 hours of physical activity every week.
PSI Eswatini Country Representative Dr. Edel Tilahan says since 2018, PSI Eswatini has worked close with the Minister of Health to supporting programming for diabetes and hypertension with funding from the World Diabetes Foundation.
More than 49,000 individuals reached and educated on type 2 diabetes mellitus, and development of a training package for this case management and the rollout of the training to hospitals and clinics across all the 4 regions.
The minister says the objective of this campaign is to raise awareness on diabetes and hypertension risk factors, prevention measures and management of non-communicable diseases. She encourages Eswatini to take charge of their health by preventing and managing non-communicable diseases. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Msimizu Shaba Izulwini.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, has encouraged farmers to make use of available opportunities in the piggery industry and ensure that Eswatini produces enough pork and reduces importing pork. Mabuza was speaking during the launch of the second phase of the piggery project in Eswatini, which has been financially supported by the Republic of China and Taiwan, worth 50 million emalangeni.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, officially launched the second phase of the pig industry enhancement, which is funded by the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, worth 50 million Mbalangeni. The first phase of the project was started in 2016. In the last 5 years, the local pork production has increased from 800 tons per year to about 2,000 tons per year. Launching the second phase of the project, the Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says Eswatini is committed to develop the piggery industry and says they are honored to receive technical and financial support from China, Taiwan.
It is encouraging to inform you that 91 male breeding pigs, 884 female breeding pigs, and 6,097 semen straws were sold to farmers from 2017 to 2020, through which the project generated 4,040,400 Mbalangeni. In addition, 1,038 winners and 507 culls were also sold, of which an amount of 1,240,240 was made. As such, between 2017 and 2020, a great total income amount of 5,280,640 was realized by phase 1 of the pig industry enhancement project.
The ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Jeremy Liang, says they are confident that this partnership will achieve and create a better future for Eswatini.
The project and the Department of Veterinary Services and Livestock, Ministry of Agriculture, will strengthen the hygienic slaughter of pigs and stabilize the balance of supply and demand in the pork market to improve the pig industry in Eswatini.
He says they are looking forward to seeing Eswatini being an export-driven country and no longer having to rely on imported breeding pigs from South Africa. He assured Eswatini that the project will continue to conduct capacity building at piggery farmers to increase their pork production. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MC with Muzum Konda at the Mountain Inn in Babane.
The Dubai 2020 Expo will commence on the 1st of October 2021 to the 31st of March 2022. This has been announced by the Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, at a media launch of the Expo, which was held at the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel.
The 2020 Dubai Expo was postponed due to the outbreak of coronavirus last year, hence it is called the 2020 Dubai Expo. The media launch was attended by the Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Princess Sikhanyiso. This is the 34th edition and it will be the first to be held in the Middle East, where over 192 countries will be participating. The Minister of Tourism, Moses Vilagati, says this will be an opportunity to establish a new market and attract visitors from the East with the intention to invest in Eswatini. He says Eswatini's participation will improve the country's image and a visible Eswatini full of peace.
Ema Expo lamanye ndisebawenda kutsi aletha bosomabhizinisi netekuvakasha. Lokusho ukuthi labantu abayele labanye batelele tekuvakasha. The
Dubai Expo Eswatini Commissioner General Linda Nxumalo says the country will be showcasing what it has to offer from agriculture, ICT, tourism, arts and culture, as well as commerce and trade.
These showcases will be complemented by a series of engagements with other markets in global business forums, through which the country will create relations with nations, multilateral organizations, corporations, and educational institutions.
Ambassador of Eswatini to the UAE, Prince Gcina, says the UAE forwarded an invitation to the kingdom to participate in the Expo. He says after having gone through the relevant processes, the invitation was approved.
Sibantwana labathunyiwe khona eUAE sabhalela lehovisi lakithi bathatha lo umsebenzi bawumikisa enkosini bawumikisa cabinet. All
partaking countries have been allocated slots to showcase its culture through dance, and Eswatini has been given the 12th of October. The total sponsorship by the UAE is 23 million emalangeni. Reporting, I'm Lungelele Makakula with Mbonga Dube in Babane.
Dubai 2020, or the Dubai Expo 2020, Eswatini Commissioner General Linda Ngumalo says the Commission has commenced with preparations to ship products to Dubai. She has confirmed that the first shipment will be on the 1st of May 2021.
The Commissioner General Linda Ngumalo says the past few months have seen the coming together of the country's private and public sectors, demonstrating dedication and pride in planning and preparing for the Expo 2020 Dubai for the development of the country's economy. The progress made thus far is encouraging that the Kingdom of Eswatini will be represented at an optimum level.
Next is that we need to finalize the shipping plan. We will be sending some goods in terms of products for showcasing and also for selling. We will have a retail space within the exhibition pavilion itself. So the goods will be leaving Eswatini effective the 1st of May.
Business Eswatini CEO Nathi Dlamini says as the private sector, they have to work together for this expo to be a success.
But the power of collaboration is what yields fruits. And I am here representing that 90% of the corporate sector which contributes to this country's GDP to say this openly. The private sector is behind this project.
He says from this, more investment opportunities into the Kingdom of Eswatini can be anticipated. Reporting, I'm Lungelele Makakula with Mwatube in Babane.
The Manzini Tuber Growers and Processing Cooperative, which focuses on sweet potato production, has been relaunched and aims at improving sweet potato production. The treasurer, Precious Ndwandwe, says they are determined to see sweet potato production grow in Eswatini.
The Manzini Tuber Growers and Processing Multipurpose Cooperative, which focuses on sweet potato farming, has been relaunched. The organization was launched in 2014 but encountered challenges which resulted to it malfunctioning over the years. It has since been relaunched and has 100 active members. Their objective is to improve sweet potato production and legumes and make fat cakes, potato chips, scones, amongst other things, out of potato. The treasurer, Precious Ndwandwe, promises that they will work towards fulfilling their dream and expand products made out of sweet potato in the country.
Sidawondla abantwana bethu sondle sive sondle nalabanye bangaphandle kulibhizinisi futhi sifuna imali sifuna ukuthi iphucula nathi sifuna ukuphucula wonke umuntu kanjalo sifuna ukuchasha sigcine sesicashene abantu ngolokuthi sesiphindze sawenweba kwaba i-multi purpose kanti sacala ngalobhatata so ubalekileke kithi ngoba usenda lokuthi sibe neligqozi lokuqhubekela phambili ngoba sibona ukuthi sifike la sifike khona kungasiyelula futhi siyathi ukuthi sitawuqhubeka vele sikhicite.
She says the members can buy shares of up to 1,000 in Malangeni. She says they are currently based in the Manzini region, but they will expand to other regions as well and also expand to piggery production, cattle production, amongst other things. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibwit Namalungelo Chele, Manzini.
Autism Eswatini, together with pediatricians in the country, joined forces in a workshop to discuss and to find solutions that will help them diagnose children with autism at an early stage. Dr. Delaus Talong says the workshop will enable them to develop tools that will be used by all Emaswati to determine whether their children have autism or not.
Autism Eswatini and pediatricians have collaborated to raise awareness on autism in the country and to discuss in detail ways in which they can be able to detect autism at an early stage. Signs and symptoms of autism involve the inability to communicate. Dr. Deluise Talong says this workshop is important because it will help them to better assist children with autism through innovative and creative tools.
The purpose of the workshop today is to create awareness and to develop tools that can be used by all different people to help to figure out if autism is an issue with the child or not, and then to get them the help.
Talong also passed a vote of thanks to the government of Eswatini for assisting Emaswati through an inclusive education that has enabled teachers to be educated about children with special needs.
Part of what DPM and Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, they're working on increasing and improving the awareness for the teachers to be able to identify, for one, and then from there building up the skills to improve how they assist the children with autism.
Although autism is not curable, parents are encouraged to take their children to the hospital if they show signs and symptoms of the condition so that they are able to undergo therapy. For Eswatini TV, Nomalungelo Jele with Gianem CB in Matapa.
COMESA Federation of Women in Business Eswatini chapter has embarked on a campaign where it encourages women to start feedlot businesses. The chairperson of the federation, Tandi Nxumalo, says on Wednesday they met with 20 women where they were capacitated about venturing into feedlot businesses.
The Federation of Women in Business Eswatini chapter is under the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. The Federation is in all 21 COMESA member states. The chairperson of the COMESA Federation of Women in Business Eswatini chapter, Tandi Nxumalo, who is also Manzini South Member of Parliament, says the Federation hopes to recruit many women who will venture into the feedlot sector.
We want to encourage our entrepreneurs to get into the feedlot business because we can see after the COVID pandemic, feedlot is one of the most viable projects that we can do and achieve a lot of things that we want to achieve. So I just want to thank you so much because the Federation is not known really. So we would like you guys to market us as much as you can because we need more women to come and do business so that they're able to sustain themselves, they're able to get into higher positions like Parliament because we know that everything now is money, you know. You want to go to Parliament, you have to campaign. How can you campaign without money? You need to have money to give my agents the airtime that they need. You need to organize some meetings. So you can't really get to Parliament. We will never achieve the quota that was supposed to achieve in Parliament without money. So now we've realized, money is one of the things it's one of the challenges that hinder women to get to Parliament. So I also want to thank SEDCO Agriculture for coming to support us yesterday. In fact, Agriculture was the one who was presenting. And we learned a lot. There are so many things that we didn't know.
Nxumalo says workshops like the one which was held on Wednesday would be held in all 4 regions of the country. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Msimizo Shawa Ezulwini.
Good evening once again. You are still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. The interim chairman of the National Q Sports Association, Muntu Dlamini, says they have sorted all the differences in the whole regional league and they are ready to start their games. Dlamini was speaking in an interview with journalists from this broadcaster in Babani.
The National Q Sports Association started an exercise of registering regional associations for the 4 regions of the country. Manzini and Lubombo regions were the first to register and started with their league games soon after. The whole region, on the other hand, had troubles whereby the old committee didn't want to vacate the office, which as a result delayed the start of the league and the National Association had to intervene. After some lengthy talks, they finally reached a resolution. Interim chairman of the association, Muntu Dlamini, explains.
We thank all the teams that are involved in the whole region for the cooperation we had in uniting the 2 associations. We have 1 association involved now, Regional Pool Association. they sorted their differences. We had a meeting last weekend and we agreed that there is only one pool association in Congo which have affiliated to the Free Sport Association of Eswatini.
Dlamini says the chairman of the Hoho Association will be Terence Ginenza. He concluded by adding that their focus now is on the Shiseland region, where they have to clarify some few things before the committee, and then they can start preparing for their games. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizwe Msibi. Babane.
Eswatini Athletics national team coach Ms. Mabuza says athletes will need to do better if they are going to have a competitive national championship that will be staged in a month's time. Mabuza was speaking with journalists from Eswatini TV in Manzini.
Athletics is one of the sporting courts that were disturbed by the coronavirus outbreak, as athletes were not able to train or compete with their colleagues. After the government allowed some sporting courts to return to action, the association announced that they will be hosting the national championships, where they will start with the preparatory games. After the first session of the preparatory games, the national team head coach Ms. Mabuza says athletes are still rusty after the long layoff. He also urged teams to help prepare their juniors, since after the Olympics, there will be the World Juniors Championships.
For my athletes, we are happy to see them back to the first build-up after such a long time with the lockdown and COVID. My athletes, you can see they are a little bit rusty, and so they need specific preparation because the national champs are of course, we appreciate, we do see some kids that are performing pretty well, especially from the juniors and all that. We like to see them because we've got the World Junior Champs coming after the Olympics, and those championships are in Kenya. We like to urge my club now, my athletes, preparation as nationals just a month away from now. So I think they'll have some time just to work on those final details of their preparations.
Mabuza also added that it would be nice to see new athletes challenging the top athletes of the country in the nationals. The national championships will be held on the 22nd of May 2020 at the Mavuso Sports Center in Manzini. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizwe Msibi with Fabrice Msonera, Manzini.
Well, Eswatini, that's all for now. Before we conclude, let's have a look at tonight's headlines. The Minister for Economic Planning and Development has signed a financing agreement of approximately 108 million emalangeni. The MTN Bushfire Festival of Arts 2021 has been officially launched. The Minister of Health has officially launched the hypertension and diabetes campaign. And with that, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is the weather update from myself and the crew at Eswatini TV. Thank you for joining us. Good night.